Hello everybody, today we're going to unbox, take a close-up look and test the NEXGADGET 4K action camera. So let's first take a look around the outside of the box. So this is a compact sports action camera with 4K video recording resolution. And here are some of its applications. And of course the technical specifications for the action camera. And the accessories that it comes with. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up the box. Slide that tray out, and always making sure that there's nothing left behind. Okay, so that's the box set to one side. And we're now looking at the clear plastic tray with the NEXGADGET 4K action camera and the accessories that it comes with. Now let's go ahead and pop the accessories out. So starting with a charger, so there is a charger in here. I'm not going to remove all of these items or accessories from their plastic wrapper because I've done that before and it ends up making the video way too long. But I'll try and show you as clearly as possible what's in these plastic bags. Okay, so there appears to be a micro USB charging cable. And moving along quickly, there is a spare waterproof housing cover. And a microfiber cleaning cloth. Keep going. There is a buckle or fastener with an angled mounting. If I can get the camcorder to focus. There we go. Okay, moving right along, another mount or hinge. And then moving right along. And another one, so typically these compact action cameras will come with a host of mounting accessories. Okay, moving on. So this is a swivel mount. And a cradle or bracket for the action camera. And as you can see, there are screw threads on the top and bottom sides. And there is a handy clip as well. You don't see that very often. And another thing I've noticed is all these items are all in sealed bags. So they're usually in loose plastic bags or not even packaged at all. So all of these are individually sealed. Okay, so you can see there is a myriad of mounts. and some straps as well. And we're nearly there. So there is a bag here with some 3M adhesive and a couple of zip ties and a braided cable. Okay. And lastly, we do have the NEXGADGET 4K action cameras user manual or instruction manual. So let's flip it open, and you can see it does have some operating instructions in very, very fine print. And let's just quickly flip through the pages in this user manual. So there we go, a nice clear layout there of all the accessories that the NEXGADGET 4K action camera comes with. So give you a closer look on the left page and then the right page. Okay. Okay, so this user manual is in English. And once again, we see some specifications. And that's the user manual covered for the NEXGADGET 4K action camera. So let's find a spot to plonk it down. Okay, so managed to get everything in the frame. Let me do some shifting around. Of course, there we go. So all the accessories as well as the action camera being entirely in the frame. Now we can now go ahead and remove that action camera, double checking nothing left behind in the clear tray packaging, and now giving you a good look at the NEXGADGET 4K action camera in its waterproof housing. So it's very standard to see action cameras being supplied with waterproof housings and coming with a spare rear cover as well, as we saw earlier as I was unpacking the box or the contents from the inner packaging tray. So you can see, nice and solid, of course, very standard, and the push buttons or pushers on the waterproof housing, and once again giving you a look at the NEXGADGET 4K action camera, just shifting the background slightly so it doesn't blend with the foreground too much. Making some adjustments, just bear with me, and there we go. So you can see very clearly the NEXGADGET 4K action camera. Okay, now let's go ahead and open up the waterproof housing, popping the cover or lid open, and then gently easing the action camera into my hand. So very simply releasing, and let's just close the housing back up, very simply just latching it over and pressing down at the top, snapping it shut. Okay, we can put the housing down now and take a close-up look here. Let's find another spot for this. Doing a bit of shuffling around, putting the housing there, packet there, and then that way we do have a nice clear view of the action camera. Okay, so this is the NEXGADGET 4K action camera. And you can see the battery compartment at the bottom. And then of course, we do have the micro SD card slot along with the HDMI out and micro USB charging port. And at the rear is the LCD. And on the right hand side are of course up and down navigation buttons, as well as what appears to be a speaker vent there. And of course at the top there is an LED and OK button. Okay, so you'll notice that some action cameras may have their LED indicator status light or status indicator light in the front instead. This one's located at the top. So it does vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. Once again, giving you a quick look around the action camera. So this one is in matte black. Trying to hold it still is not a very easy thing to do, so it takes pretty steady hands here, especially with an item that's this small. There's no real weight to it to keep it stable. So battery compartments right there. Of course, I'm going to show you the size of the sports action camera in my hand. Okay, now let's pop the battery compartment open. So it does have a simple kind of latch here, if I can dig my fingernails into it. There we go. And I'll show you the battery, because the battery capacity is always worth noting. So there we go. The battery specifications. And the size as well. So a standard size action camera battery, along with the specifications right there. Okay, I've noticed that, of course, at my previous unboxing of the most recent action camera, the Vimico action camera does come with 2 batteries, which is rarely seen, but it's nice to have a spare battery. But in this case, most manufacturers still have just a single battery. And of course, the battery cover design, I've noticed that as well. Some companies do have a slider catch just for extra security to keep the battery compartment or cover locked in place. Okay, let's now go ahead and turn it on by pressing on the power button at the front. pressing and holding. Let's try the top button. Okay, so it appears that the battery does need some charge in it because it's not turning on. So let's charge it up and come right back. Okay, so I've given the NEXGADGET action camera a short charge. So now let's go ahead and turn it on by pressing on the power button at the front and turning the camera around. And you can see that welcome animation there on the LCD along with the startup chime. So you can see it does have a wide angle lens as it's being able to capture the entire table right in front of us. So I'll bring the action camera a little bit closer so you can see the LCD a little bit more clearly. Okay, and as always, I do have my trusty stand with my rearing horse figurine, which is about a couple of meters in front of us. So what I'm going to do is give you some perspective by showing you the horse in the view of the action camera. So right there and there to give you some perspective. Okay. So now let's go ahead and toggle through the screen by pressing on the front button. So this is the startup mode in 4K video recording, toggling through picture mode 16 megapixels, still picture images, and toggling through again. This is the slow motion mode at a very high 120 frames per second. And then this is the review mode, and then the settings. And then pressing again takes us back to the first screen, which is the video recording mode in 4K. So I'm going to toggle quickly through once again to show you what all the modes are. So there we go. So back to the start. So now let's go into the settings screen and see what's there. So pressing on the OK button at the top shows us the variety of menu settings right there. Okay, pressing OK again should tab us through, maybe not. The front power button does tab us through to the next tab right there, and displaying the other options right there. Okay, so that's for the photo resolution and so on and so forth. So pressing on the front power button will take us to the next tab and scrolling through to show you the different features or settings that's available. Okay, and let's tab to the next setting. So language, date, time, format, and so on and so forth. And let's press again. And if I press OK, that would take us out of the menu. But let's have a look again by pressing at the front power button. And this time I'm going to bring in the action camera a little bit closer so you can see a little bit more clearly. Okay, so that's the first tab and going right through the different settings right there. So very quickly, I'm going to show you what's available. Okay, now for the slow motion mode, Alright, so let's tab to the next tab again. And for photo resolution, these are the options. Okay, and then tabbing through right there. And then tabbing to the next setting. For languages, let's just have a look what's available right there. So English, Chinese, what appears to be Korean, Russian, and so on and so forth. So plenty of language options there. And of course, lastly, exiting the settings menu. And we're back to the first screen, which is the 4K video recording screen. So now let's go and test the NEXGADGET 4K action camera outdoors.